name is Tony, and I'm one of the elders here at Bay Ridge Christian Church. This past Sunday, we talked about Psalm 23, and specifically how Psalm 23 are the words of Jesus Christ, our King, to our God. They're a prayer written 1,000 years before Christ. And we also considered Psalm 23 in relation to Psalm 22, the Psalm of the Cross, and Psalm 24, the Psalm of Ascension. And so in Psalm 22, 23, and 24, we see cross, resurrection, and ascension. And we considered how these three Psalms show that Christ came into our suffering and our pain. He took on our sin, and he walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and he punched through into feasting glory. You may have heard of Brene Brown. She's a sociologist and a researcher, given a number of very popular TED Talks. I think she's up to over 4 million views now. And Brene Brown says her research has revealed an interesting fact. If you have a suffering friend, there are two words that are almost certain to damage your relationship, to undermine trust and impair comfort. And those two words are at least. I was just diagnosed with cancer. Well, at least they found it early. My boyfriend just dumped me. Well, at least you'll have more time. I just lost my job. Well, at least your wife is still working. You know what two words do help? These two. Me too. Me too. Long before the Me Too movement, Brene Brown says the way to build trust and empower the person who's suffering is to show that she's not alone, or he's not alone, that you share their pain. You know what it's like. You can say, I know, me too. I've been there. That happened to me too. I know what you're going through. What is God like? Does he come in a vision and say, at least I created you. At least I gave you a chance. He could say that. He'd be perfectly within his rights to say that. But that's not who the God of Scripture is. The God of Scripture comes into our painful and suffering and sick world, and he says, me too. Jesus is a God that is so intimately connected with us that he knows our pain and our deepest fears and the gunk in our hearts, and he loves us anyway. In fact, he loves us so much that he put us before himself. He died for us. Jesus understands you, and he didn't have to wait till the day he was finally nailed to a cross. These Psalms were written 1,000 years before Good Friday. But even before time began, he knew your pain, and it was his plan all along to share in it. In fact, when we cry out, my God, where are you? You seem so far away. I'm suffering. I'm in pain. I need you. He responds not with judgment, not even with, I told you so. No, not at all. Instead, he joins us in our suffering. He takes flesh. He's born into destitution and poverty. He thirsts. He hungers. He knows homelessness and aloneness and betrayal. Have you had a prayer that wasn't answered? Jesus had a prayer that wasn't answered. He doesn't condemn us for our sin. Oh, he condemns sin by becoming sin and taking the punishment and the infinite wrath of God that rightfully belonged to us. Yeah, we were once objects of wrath, but not because God hated us, just because he hated what we did to his perfect creation. And so he accepts the punishment. He takes it on himself, and he dies for sin. He dies for us. Where is God in suffering? He's here. And so when you walk in suffering, you can remember you don't ever have to walk alone.